Hello everybody, welcome to part 2. So I'm here with Eve. We're going to do a 3-hole service, which means your oil bag, your primary, and your transmission. So for filter change, there's another special kind of hidden filter. I doubt if we're going to do that. We might, we'll see. Should be a good one. Alright, so I got the seat off. As you can see, it's a little chewy under here. The prior owner really butchered up the wiring harness. I'm gonna have to work on that. I got new air ride shocks coming. Those should be here maybe next episode. I could probably shine on some of this, hook it all back up. Got the saddle bag off. The little side pan that covers the oil reservoir. This is your oil bag, is what they call it. So we got to drain this. The bad thing is you got to take your oil sensor or oil sending unit out. That's your drain. Then we got transmission, drains underneath. Your fill-in service is up top here, right there. And then on the other side is your primary drive. That's what links the motor to the transmission. That's this. There's a drain underneath here. I'll show you that. Then you take this side pan off, cover to fill it. But first, I'm going to start draining some fluids here. Actually, what we should do is we're going to put this thing up on the jack, get it all nice and level and up in the air. We're going to take this side pan off because where that transmission links with the primary, there's a seal in there. Sometimes that seal leaks, so we want to check that. And we check that by getting this thing fairly level and taking the side cover off. If a little bit dribbles out, that's kind of normal, but if it's like really flowing out, chances are that seal is gone. And I probably don't have much for fluid in the transmission, which would not be good. So let's get this thing up on a lift and we're gonna check it out. Alright, so starting out, our pan's got just a little bit of oil in it. I haven't done anything yet. So you strap the motorcycle down to your jack, so when it's up off the ground. You don't need this thing sky high, you just need some clearance. Here's your cover. Oh, by the way, ignore that little drip right there. It's Harley things. It's fine. I think they're supposed to have factory like that, so. Anyway, we're gonna pop this cover loose, see what we got going on. I should have probably taken the passenger foot peg off, but oh well. How rare is that it didn't go in the pan? There is a little gasket seal behind this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see anything till we got that top screw out. I just kind of wanted to do it like a normal transmission pan and do half at a time, and now it's like the moment of truth. Should be sitting fairly level. Nope, in the pan. Well, that's a good sign. It's a real good sign. So this is your clutch. So this spins a little wheel, you know, and it does mechanical thingies. There's my technical terms for the week. But this should be full right up to about here. So I don't know if we can see anything or not. Oh yeah. You can just see that gloss in there. So it's right there. It's perfect. So that means that the seal in between the transmission and the primary is good, which is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil on this, and then we can go ahead and just add the oil right, or fresh oil right back. For oil, I'm running AMSOIL V-Twin. I could not find a Wix filter, so I got a Fram. Then I got AMSOIL Gear Lube. So we'll zoom out of that. That chrome is ugly. I'm half tempted to take them things off just because they're so... From a distance, it doesn't look bad, but boy, they're pretty chewy. They really don't do anything. Anyway, we're gonna drain the oil. I'll show you where that is here in a sec. Okay, so we're kind of repositioned here, but not really. So you can see these smaller Allen keys going around. That's what holds the primary cover on. There's one here that's slightly larger in diameter, slightly larger Allen. By the way, it's 5/32 to take these screws off, and then this is a 3/16. So we're gonna, and these things should not be extremely tight. Just get them on there, get them snug. It's not a very long screw. Oh, I'm starting to drip. There we go. That doesn't look the best, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna look at stuff over. So, couple things. Yours is probably gonna look a little chewy like this when you drain it. There's reasons for that. I'm gonna set this thing down over here. This is a clutch. Friction discs, all that fun stuff. Regardless of what you do, you lose material off of these things when you, every time you shift and all that, and dumping the clutch, burnouts, whatever. You slip a clutch, any of that. So there's always going to be foreign material around in here. Always. I don't really care what you do or what you say. It's going to be there. It's not like your transmission and engine oil where it should come out fairly clean, this actually has particles floating around from these friction discs. So it looks chewy, but it's really not that bad. Looks like I got a fuzzy oil plug. Two things. A, like I said, you're burning material off of your clutch pack. This is kind of normal. At least, I'm going to say this with a little hesitation. Normal. We're going to use air quotes. Two things. This thing's doing its job. B, it's not an extreme amount of stuff. I mean, the center is pretty empty. It's just a little bit around the edges. Like I said, you're going to lose material off of your clutch. And, you know, this thing's doing its job. I don't know when this was done last. That's the other thing. I don't really... They have kind of a maintenance history written down in the trunk, but there's a huge gray zone of where they just didn't do any history, if that makes sense. So like an original owner kept very good care, an oil change record and everything in the trunk written down on the trunk lid, and then all of a sudden it stops. And then I look at the odometer here and I'm like, oh geez, we're missing quite a few miles. So that leads me to believe that this exchanged hands at some point and the other person did not keep that good of a log. So I don't know what kind of maintenance. So with that being said, they generally want transmission and primaries done every 10,000 miles. Oil every 3,000, you know, just to be expected. I'm probably going to do this again. I may pull the plug with this pan on to keep a little bit of a suction on there or vacuum so it doesn't drain out, and seep this out just a little bit at 3,000 miles just to see the color. If it looks really chewy, I'm going to change it. If it doesn't look bad, then that means that this probably hasn't been done in a while. So, oh, they do make a neat little funnel to pour into here. I don't have that neat little funnel, so this is going to be fun. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it, but there is an O-ring in here, right there. You can buy the kits to put new O-rings and seals in as you do this on all your drain plugs and stuff. And you know, if they look good and they haven't leaked before, I just run them again. It'll be fine. I should look at getting a different belt too. I've never changed a belt. Not quite sure how to do that, or how long you can go on a belt, or what it's supposed to be. You know, how often. I'll have to Google that. Anyway, we're drained. Something not helping is right here. It's been raining, so I do have water droplets here dripping into this, so that doesn't help. But we're going to put the plug back in, and we're going to fill this thing up. Should be about a quart to get this thing to full. So hold on one moment. I'm going to put in that drain plug because I got to clean it off, and that's going to be difficult to do with one hand and get it back in there. So hold on. So we're getting that oil plug put back in. You don't need to give it any kind of ugga-duggas or anything with an impact. You just want to get it finger tight, and then I go about a quarter turn, and you see my hand kind of jerking down. Just get that thing snug. You know, you use the old elbow torque wrench, and you go until it goes click, click, and then you're good. So I heard it click. It probably didn't pick it up for you, but either way, we'll clean up that little dribble. Not that it won't show back up again. There's a few things I gotta do to this. Anyway, I'm gonna go start adding oil because I definitely can't pour that oil into that little bit of a slot and talk to you guys at the same time. Hold on. All right, so here we're just gonna try it. I got a couple large wrenches, 1.25 inches, 1.125 inches, kind of spanning the gap. And I got one of these flexi funnels. Never used it before. This is what it is. So you can bend and shape this thing however you want. They make a few different versions. This is the one that you may have seen advertised on like your Facebook feed or Insta. It's just supposed to wipe clean. Anyway, it's totally pliable, bendable. If I pour nice and easy, I should be able to get this quart in there. So I talked with the AMSOIL guy today. And yep, it says engine, transmission, and primary case lubricant. So this is great for your motor, great for your primary, which is what I'm doing now. Generally for the transmission you want like 70, 90, 75, 90. You can get an 80 to 114. Either way, they claim this is about as thick as that. It should work. I mean, it's not. It's 2050. But they say that this should work fine with the transmission. I was pretty skeptical, so I was like, nah. I'll stick with my gear lube for that. So here we're going to try to ease this down into there. Hopefully I don't make too much of a mess. I'll be dipped. It's working. Just got to take my time, which is alright by me. I'll be right back here after I get this done. So here I actually trusted this thing enough to just go ahead, rest that container in there so I can just kind of eat on the rest of the oil that's in there. It's not leaking out the bottom here, so I know I'm not over full. Drain plug isn't leaking, so that's a good thing. So let me pull this thing out, wipe it down so I don't make a dribble on the floor, and we'll inspect it. Kind of got you guys on a tether here. I'm just gonna have to stop it. Alright, so you can see the fluid down in there. It's not quite up to the brim. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Then I'm gonna put the cover back on and we should be good. We're gonna flip around to the other side. So now that we're on the other side of the motor and we gotta drain our oil. Here's our oil bag right here. There's the fill. This is your oil sending unit. Sadly, this is how you drain it, is you gotta pull that out. Which sucks because it's right up above your exhaust and everything else. Goes without saying, try not to get oil on your brakes or your tires. To make this a little easier, I don't know, I got another one of them flexi funnels right here. I may see if If I can get that flexi funnel in there and somehow propped up in here, otherwise it's a 7/16 to pull the passenger floorboard off. Maybe give you a little more room, but for doing this, I may want a little bit of a snug fit just so I don't get oil all over everything. We'll see. So this is what I was able to come up with. So this is what I was able to come up with. I just kind of wedged it up in there. Just kind of held in place by the floorboard, and then I'll put the oil pan down there. So this is the other type of foldy funnel. You can get this off that Jungle website. And I tell you what it says, but I don't have my Captain Crunch decoder ring, so I lost that back in, I think, 87. So anyway, we're gonna pull that drain plug out, or the sensor, whatever. Drain that oil out, put it back in. We'll check the O-ring, put it back in, and here we go. And I'm just gonna dump it into the same pan, so as I do it, if it really starts looking chewy, I got that old oil in there still, so I'm not gonna clean the pan between every oil change. Not today. Okay, so I took the little sending wire off. That was a 7mm. I just didn't want that thing spinning around as I was taking out the sender. 7/16, or I'm sorry, 7/8. So like the next size up. And that, yes, this is why I strapped down the motorcycle, because if you're wrenching on this thing by yourself like that, you don't want that baby to tip off. Don't care how strong you are, you just don't want 800 pounds of motorcycle on you. That'll ruin your day. Let's see if I can hit the drain pan here. Boy, this thing's got some long threads. Wow. How much longer we got? I think it goes to the other side. Oh, here we go. So that's nice and clean. And this oil, it looks like oil. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't smell gassy or anything. And this funnel, you know, I'm gonna have to say, for being a first-time user of these funnels, these flexi funnel, whatever you'd want to call them, and 10 out of 10. Even this one here with the Captain Crunch decoder ring that's not included, it works very well. Hopefully I'm almost out. As you can see, I'm getting close. Oh. So once this stops dribbling, we'll clean up the plug, clean up the hole. I want to say a couple quarts. I don't remember. You have to check on your dipstick. There's 2 lines. I prefer to hug that top line. That's just me. Almost done. Looks like as it's dribbling, it might be coming up behind it. Yep, it is. There's a dot of oil. So slide that back so it's just catching the front, and then it can drip in. But you know what? This is just a stupid design. I don't blame the funnel one bit on this. For that little bit of dribble down the back, I should have anticipated it. You can see the couple dark spots where it is dripping, so I am catching it, and I'm catching it right there. So, I don't know. This is the first year of the Evo, 1987. Hopefully, now again, I'm not a Harley guy, so I really don't know. I'm so hoping they came up with a better design for the future models. Look at the chrome on this. If you guys didn't see what this thing looked like before, it was almost like that. I mean, it was pretty chewy. But go to a prior video, you'll see the cleanup on this. So yeah, we'll get that put back on, to which then we'll get the cover and the saddlebag put on, and we'll pardon me, we'll put some oil in this baby. And then transmission. Ooh, wait. We're still gonna go up underneath, get off that oil filter, and drain that down there. Let me switch positions again. So underneath here, this great big nut, and right in the center of the screen, right there, that's your transmission drain. Don't be scared or worried about all this dust and dirt and stuff. I mean, you look under any vehicle. I give Harleys a lot of crap. I really do. But honestly, most vehicles look like this unless you really get after it. I mean, from filling and it overspills or something. I mean, this oil filter is pretty dirty. You got all your road grime and water and everything else coming up. It's just, it is what it is. So, straight back from our primary case, straight back, oil filter. A lot of people will try to sell you a chrome one. Ooh, that can't be good. It'll be fine. A lot of people try to sell you a chrome one. Honestly, I wouldn't pay the extra money for two reasons. A, no one will ever see this thing unless you crash. And if you crash, they're not going to go, oh, look, at least he's got a chrome oil filter. B, this is what it's going to look like anyway. And C, chrome doesn't seal at all very well. I mean, not only do they have a gasket, but they had to put RTV under here when they redid all this. So that's just got a couple drips left in it, and then we're going to put the plug in there, and we're going to slide that oil pan over and try to get this oil filter off without too much of a mess. But as you can see, we got the jack right here, so it's going to be interesting. Ooh, should probably put the safeties down. I don't like where those line up. That's not even really hitting the bumps. Oh well, something to fabricate on later. So that's got me a little concerned. But let's take a look here. The belt it don't look too bad. Then again, I don't know what the heck I'm looking at. This is my first ride with a belt. I'll probably roll by the dealer and say, hey, what's that thing look like? You know, is it chewy? Do I need a new one? Talk to me. So, anyway, enough rambling. Let's get this baby done. This little video's getting too long anyway. Alright, So I got the oil filter off. It was just too hard to do and record at the same time. I will give a shout out to Harley because they have it so then that way the filter is facing up and it doesn't sit there and dribble all over everything like I thought it would. Some Harleys have the oil filter on the front of the motor and it's sideways. I feel bad for you guys because there's no way to get that baby off and not have it be all over. So basically what I did was I took the oil pan, I got my filter broke loose, put the oil pan lip, funnel, pour spout thingy up onto the frame, braced it up again the back tire, then I reached up in there so anything that came out, as you could see, would go right in, and it did. So again, keep oil and stuff off your tire. Make sure you inspect this. That looks pretty good. There's no gasket. Everyone's always like, inspect that. Everyone's always like, hey, you know, you don't double gasket your oil filter. And I'm like, okay, that kind of goes without saying. I have never, ever, ever seen where an oil gasket for an oil filter stays onto that block or whatever part it is where you screw on your oil filter. Granted, I still check. I'm just wondering if anybody has ever seen that. I'm sure it's happened. Otherwise, they wouldn't tell you 8 million times to look for it, but that's got to be a pretty rare case. Anyway, we're going to put a little bit of oil on the lip of the oil filter, and we're going to pre-fill the oil filter and screw it back on. So this is the frame oil filter I have for the Evo, what is it, 90, 80, I don't remember, I'm a metric man, 1300 cc. And like I had said earlier, hey, don't. So this is the full filter I got for the Electra Glide Classic, first year of the Evo frame. And I, as always, I was like, do not get the chrome one because it's, you know, you're spending extra money and whatever. Does not say chrome. Write down your mileage on these things, 66,806. That way, if you sell the machine, they know how new it is. If you go to change it, you know, you can just jack up your bike and go, oh, there it is. I'm not good at keeping logs, so we're gonna go like that. Fill it up with a little bit of fluid. Make sure you spill it all over everything. Bubbles up a little bit. There we go. We'll let that burp out. Ignore that little spill. That's where the wife puts her feet anyway, so it'll be fine. Smear oil around on that gasket so it seals good. Then you take and grab this thing, keep it upright, stick it up in there and screw it on. And as you've seen, it's kind of difficult to get under there, so I'm going to do this without you. You just got to kind of trust me. Scary words. So we do have our temp sensor hooked back up. I only put 2 quarts in for now. I want to check it with a dipstick. But for now, oh, there's one more thing you should do with the oil change. Under here, there's a screen. You should service that screen. Pull it out, clean it, put it back, but you want the closed side of the screen facing up. Don't forget that. It's like another filter for you. Alright, so I know I said 10 out of 10 on these funnels. They are very slick. However, if they had a couple holes perforated along the side, so a feller or fellette, because you know there's girl mechanics out there, shout out to you. Be nice to have to hook a little bungee on or something, but if you get one of these spring clamps, let me show you what I got going on. Transmission drain plug. Come on. Right there. Right there. Slides right on down. Bypass the clamp. Disco into the hole. So hopefully I can get my arm up through here to get that done. It is broke loose, so we'll see. We'll see how full of junk I can get. I'm gonna try to keep you guys on the air here. We all know what's gonna happen. Probably gonna drop the drain plug. Oh, look at that. It's actually not that bad looking. There you can see it better. It's pretty golden. You can put near see through that stream, them coil springs. So, transmission fluid, really good. We're gonna let this baby drip dry. I gotta, oh, let me check this plug. Okay, it's got, let me get it into a light here for you. It's got some hairs, but I mean, it's only on the one side. Honestly, that doesn't concern me. It's just a little bit. It's very fine. It's the magnet is doing its job. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Like I said, this oil looks chewy up there, but when you actually get the light through it, it don't look that bad. It really don't. But yeah, that's no big deal. Generally you do get a little bit here and there. That's just normal wear and tear. It happens. Plus, like I said, I don't know when the last time this was done. So now we got a log of when the oil and everything was changed. So I'll write that down on the trunk lid or maybe saddlebag lid. We'll be good to go. I'll let this drip dry and I'll show you a quick fill and then we should be done. Alright, it's been a few minutes. As you can see, this thing is basically drained. Clean these things out. You just take a towel-y, chase it out. Look at that. Sure is a heck of a lot better than a lot of them funnels. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it. Here we go. Cleaned off the plug here. Gonna get that back up in there. Right up there. And if I didn't say it before, 7/8 was that transmission drain plug. The fill cap is a number 10 Torx, which is right there. It's kind of an ugly thing. They got all this chrome and then that. I mean, that's kind of like, okay. You don't need much. You need about 1 quart focus. So, size reference to my pinky. There's not a whole lot down in there. I'm gonna get a funnel, add up my gear lube, which I'm an AMSOIL guy. Even though this says marine, doesn't matter. Gear lube is gear lube. 75/90, that's what you want. You get to the newer Harleys, the 6-speeds. The AMSOIL dealer said a lot of them say that there's a howl or that the transmission is noisy. For that, you go to the next step up and you get the, I think it's 85/114. I don't remember. I'll put it up above, I believe. And he runs that in his with the 6-speed. This is only a 5. But he says he's never had a howling issue or any kind of noise with a little bit thicker weight. So he says in theory you can go either one, or like I say, AMSOIL claims that the same engine oil is good for tranny, primary, all that. I don't know. 20/50, 75/90. To me, that's a heck of a difference. I'm going to go with that 75/90. That is built for gears and everything else. So, I'm just going to trust that a lot more. By the way, this is probably the best thing. Get yourself a funnel, strap it to the wall, and then put like a gallon jug down below. Stack all your funnels in it when you're done. That way everything just drains out into that gallon. When you go to dump your waste oil, take that gallon jug with you and empty that. Little helpful hint. So I'm going to put this in there, fill it, check it. We should be good. Hold on. Alright, so before anyone yells at me about wiping out these funnels, trust me, I do. I use a little brake clean, wipe them out, whatever. My one complaint about AMSOIL: they mark this stuff all wrong. So, sure, 32 ounces is full, right up there by Oz. But, help a feller out and put these numbers in reverse, so I know when I've added 24 ounces in this. I mean, sure, I can do the math. Fine. No big deal. But, if you wrote it in reverse, because really, you don't, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you just do it in reverse? But anyway, this thing is supposed to take 24 ounces. I did just over, so we're gonna check it. That's, I guess in short, that's what I'm getting at. Where can I put that so it drips everywhere? That's a good spot. We should run this motor too. So before you check it, you should run it. I just ran it briefly. I got one little drip right there. So other than that, looks like it's sealed up pretty good. We'll pull out our dipstick, wipe it, check it, put it back in, pull it out, check it. Should be good. So I ran the motor, checked it. Should be good. Get it snug and just give it a little, just to make sure. You don't need Don't need to lean on it. You know, don't want to strip that baby out. I got one of these goofy temperature gauge oil dipsticks. Might be able to see the line. Come on now, focus on this. Anyway, let me see if I can't. There we go. So there you can see the low right there. And the high is right there. There it is. That shiny line, that's the high. That shiny line, that's the low. So we'll check it out. Okay, it's hard to see, but I'm like right at that low line. So I'm just gonna add the rest of this AMS oil, fire it up again, should be good. The first year of the Evo should take 4 quarts of oil. So that's what I got left of my 4 quarts. So that sounds about right. Then we'll fire it up again. All right, we got this thing running. Not gonna run it long because I got the strap right there, but that's violent. So, yep. So that concludes our 3-hole service, engine oil, primary, and transmission. Next week, we're going to upgrade the air shocks. I'd love to get progressive coil shocks. I just can't see spending $600 on this thing. I don't know. Maybe I will. I may have to. I don't know. God, that just seems like a lot. But in the end, I really didn't pay anything for this motorcycle. Literally. So, thank you guys so much for following, checking out this video. The video is a little long, I understand, but when I was trying to find stuff on how to do this, most of the videos are so vague. I'm like, thanks for the waste of 8 minutes. You really didn't show me anything. So I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. This channel is generally for food reviews and kind of tours around Minnesota and the, quad 5-state area? I don't know. When I get hungry, we're going to go eat. So, there we go. I'm fat. We're going to eat a lot. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Share it with your friends. And as always, have a very wonderful week. And may God bless.